Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
We are waiting for Carisha. Mashallah, she's here.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Mashallah. I figured this one was better. I really like this one because you guys can put like little banners and themes and stuff like that. So alhamdulillah.
Oh, alhamdulillah.
So, and this one is the only one that allows us to all stream together.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so we are actually live right now. We are live right now in on Facebook. We are live in on our Why I Reverted to Islam, and I'm checking to see the rest of them. It should be going to the group and everything too. Alhamdulillah, we're
wonderful.
here. So now I am in Facebook. We're all learning together.
Yes, we are. This is like so awesome.
Yeah. So we're all learning together, alhamdulillah.
So we can't
So
see ourselves. You can see everything, right?
see the rest of them. Say it again.
If someone has questions or something.
Yeah,
You
you
can
can
see it.
actually, if you go to your Facebook, you can watch us at the same time.
Oh, really? I don't have to be like in this set. Okay,
I don't
hold on,
know.
let me- We'll find out.
So everybody can see what we do.
I know.
There's no viewers right now, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
But we're here. Let me see. That's us live.
Yeah, now you can mess up.
I'm checking to see how we can add. Okay. I don't know how to do it. I can see what we do.
Okay.
Okay, we're a little bit we're no viewers right now. Okay. So let's get to it. All right.
Are you recording too?
We are going to first of all, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to everybody. Alhamdulillah, we are here. My name is Aisha Abdullah. Aisha Mai, if you're crazy. And and I am the founder of All Things Niqab Incorporated. All Things Niqab Incorporated includes our groups Why I Reverted to Islam. It also includes our support group, which is All Things Niqab. We have a clothing line called My Modesty Inc. And now we have a podcast. And on that podcast, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, is my host, my co-host, Nadia, looking so beautiful today.
Thank you. Alhamdulillah.
Nadia looking so beautiful. And then we have Carisha looking extra, extra beautiful. Mashallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
So today we have, hold on, I'm trying to see about, okay, you got that.
Uh-oh. They left me.
No, I'm here.
You're not on camera.
Oh,
my gosh.
okay.
I just kicked my cat out of my room and he's scratching at the door.
Oh. Okay, well, I'm gonna find myself because I'm here, and we know Aisha's here. Oh,
Right.
Aisha,
Aisha's back.
Aisha.
Hi.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I should have played earlier.
Oh. And I'm like totally having like jacked up scarf. I'm like, I'm humping. My scarf is like humping on me. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. So, um, okay, and today's topic, let's get to today's topic. Today's topic is about non-Muslim relatives and friends. But before we get to that, let me ask my co-host, what have you been doing today? I know we've been like crazy and trying to get it together to make sure that we're all doing well. Yeah, so
Well,
um so what have you been up to, Nadia?
well, I like I said to you guys earlier, I was cleaning my house, I was getting things together. And have you ever done it cleaning where you feel like you accomplished something and then you look behind you and you're like, oh, that
Oh, I
wasn't
Yes,
even.
haven't done anything. Yeah,
I've
yeah.
done that. I've done that. Yes,
I was like, yes, I did it. And then there's like a whole other side of drama, and I'm like, oh God, really?
exactly.
Let me just have my smoothie and call it a day. That was me.
Exactly.
Along with my boys. But other than that, alhamdulillah, I've been good.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
And what about you, Carisha? What you been up to today?
Well, I have partially organized this homeschool curriculum
Ooh.
and tried to figure out another way to work out. So I did try to get a little workout in today. Didn't work, but I did get a nap.
Oh,
So, and I
sometimes
needed
that,
that nap. I needed that
yeah,
nap.
yeah. Sometimes that's what you need, you know?
Yes, I had a good cuddle nap with the baby, so that worked.
That's good. So are you homeschooling or is the school just because I know during for COVID every state is doing something different. Like one of my friends, all her kids are going back to school. And another one is like having
Oh,
a hybrid where it's like 2 days in, 3 days out, or something like that. Is that the same for you and where you live?
actually, the schools are hit and miss. I have actually homeschooled her from day one. So before
Oh,
Alhamdulillah.
COVID, we homeschooled. So each one is, some are giving them a choice, some are doing K-12, some are doing their own virtual. But I've always homeschooled her, and we use a virtual for electives. Like for
mm,
robotics and STEM, we use a virtual for that. But for all core and everything else, I do that for her. And then on Sunday, she used to go to Islamic school at the masjid on Sundays. So that's how we used to do Sunday to Thursday.
so are
So
they doing the
now
virtual classes then?
they haven't said yet, but they
Oh,
have
okay.
been meeting and having the kids get together and still have youth night through Zoom and that
Oh,
kind of thing.
oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
So just switching
What
to
about
sixth
you, Anissa?
grade. Yes.
Um, I was a bad girl today.
Uh-oh.
I
Really?
I went and got a mani pedi.
Ooh. How was it?
Oh, mashallah. I really like it has been a long time, and you know how you try to get it done. I really try to stay away from the shops anyway, because when I walk in and say I just want a mani pedi with a buff shine,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, I think I should get a discount because I'm not using your nail polish. But
Yeah.
second off, it's as doing a buff shine is work. So they don't really like to do it, but I don't care. That's what I want. So that's what I got. So I got me a little mani pedi, and
Mm.
it was actually pretty nice. It was actually, they were very safe, and they had like
Mashallah.
movable like
Car-
glass that goes with you, and you pick out your own tools to get cleaned with and everything. So alhamdulillah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I have no complaints.
Mashallah.
Mm. Yeah. MashaAllah. My sister,
Yeah.
she bought her own mani pedi thing at home and couldn't wait to start using it.
I did too, but you know, sometimes that big toe is not letting you be its friend. So, so you know, you just keep up with it until you know one day you're passing by the nail shop and be like, "Forget it, I'm going to do it."
Right.
That's how
Right.
it
Exactly.
is.
That's
You know,
true.
it's funny is like some Muslim sisters don't think they can get a mani and a pedi,
Hmm.
and I'm
Yeah,
Yes.
like,
I know. In the group, All Things Niqab, we actually had this discussion, and we did a little virtual field trip. There's certain virtual field trips that we've done. For example, getting through security at the airport, um going shopping because of some of the sisters were actually having problems just going shopping, you know. Um so alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, we everything we do, from how to get up out of prayer with your lone niqabs and things like that, we've been able to tackle. So
Alhamdulillah.
and through that, that's why we got this subject that we have today.
yes.
And I think it's a very important subject because there's so many reverts that are so confused about it, you know. They're confused about it, they don't know what to do, and when you first become a revert, everything seems so black and white, like you're talking to somebody and you know it's not wrong. But inshallah, during today's podcast we can give some steps. First of all, we're going to give evidence for what we're talking about today, and then inshallah we'll give you some steps on how to overcome some of those pitfalls that come. Nadia, your camera isn't working.
No, you can't see me.
Nope.
Your picture is gorgeous, though.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
froze. Okay. They
Oh
see me.
yes.
Oh, by the way, Carisha, what should our
Yes.
viewers do to do with our YouTube video?
They should like, share with everyone.
Yes,
Inshallah.
inshallah.
Subscribe. Click the bell so you can know when we upload videos.
That's
And we're and we're accepting donations through allthingsniqab.com website.
alhamdulillah. Wa alaikum assalam, Kimberly. Alhamdulillah. We're so happy to see you here today. Kimberly's been on me. Sister Kimberly has been on me. She has been wanting me to, like, she keeps up with the times that we're going live. When are you uploading a new video? I mean, she's the one that's telling me, she's keeping me on my game. You hear me?
We need you, Sister Kimberly.
Yeah.
We need you.
Mr. Kimberly.
Trust me, we need you.
And I need to remind everyone of our schedule. On Mondays, it is Maghrib Mondays. It's basically Quran story where we go through several ayats, between 5 to 10 ayats at a time out of the Quran. We read the tafsir with it, and we go slow because we want to make sure that what you read and what you hear, or what we go through, what we study, is not just something that you hear on the fly, but something that you can implement into your life, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, so that's Maghrib Mondays. We have Chatting to Tuesdays. Usually we'll have great interviews with some of the ummah, or we might just chat with ourselves because we're really, really good at doing that.
Yes, we got that.
Yeah. We have Workout Wednesday with Carisha, where she's going to show you maybe the exercise of the week and what you can do to get it together.
Gotta be halal
Okay.
tight.
Kimberly said I work 2 jobs, so I need to know the schedules. Yeah, she's
Oh, you
doing
do.
it because she has 2 jobs, but she just doesn't know that she is keeping me. I was like, I've got to have content for Kimberly.
That Kimberly content. That's
Yeah, Kimberly wants to learn, and she is not. She is going to keep going, and she's not even a bother. So please, nobody go out there and say that. Kimberly is going to stay on me until she has learned something, and I totally appreciate that because it makes me, do better.
Oh, we need that.
Yeah, we do. Thursdays, we call it Tasted Thursdays. That's when Nadia, alhamdulillah, will be showing you a quick, easy halal recipes that you can try. Maybe some new foods that you haven't tried. For example, after our before our OMG Muslim interview, Kimberly says she cracking up at me talking about her. Before our OMG Muslim interview, I was looking at their videos in regards. If you guys don't know, OMG Muslims is doing the Prophet's diet for 5 days. And so they're picking out, in regards to the Quran or Sunnah, they're picking out foods. And during the video, not only are they showing you the foods and showing you different recipes that you can have, but also giving you the Quranic verses of what the Prophet said or did with that particular food. The one that I really liked, which drew my attention, was the one with they had yogurt with honey and pomegranates, and the way that they reacted to it, I was like, okay, I want to get some of that. And then they went into olives. Their whole video was about olives and its benefits, and how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam always mentioned that we should use olives, whether it's the olives or the olive oil, inside our bodies and also outside our bodies, especially to get rid of pain and ailments and things like that. So it's really a learning experience, and I really like that. So I'm looking forward to Tasted Thursdays. And then of course on Fridays we go live, and that is when inshallah we get to talk to everybody about the subjects that we did for the week. So this week we got to know All Things Niqab. For a lot of people that don't know, All Things Niqab has been around since 2014. And we truly deal with the emotional, financial, all kinds of support for the sisters. And we're not talking about just sisters that wear niqab, but we also consider those that don't wear niqab to be niqab curious. So that means it's for every sister. Okay. So that's the schedule. And if you would like to participate in any of those events, Carisha, remind them one more time what they should do.
Like, share with everyone, subscribe, click the bell.
Yes.
And if you would like to donate, we're accepting donations at allthingsniqab.com.
That's correct. And Carisha, what is our goal right now as far as subscribers are concerned?
Our goal right now is to get 1,000 subscribers.
Yes. Can we get it?
Yes.
I think we can get it.
We can get it.
We can. I think we can. Nadia, I still don't see you, baby.
Yes, and
really?
now we don't hear. Yeah, there you are. But I don't see you.
I can't see her. I can't see her at all.
You guys get. Okay.
No.
All I see is a little dot. Let me show you. Let me show you my screen.
Okay.
Because it says like you're in the show. Everyone can see you and hear you.
See? Oh, well, good grief. Do you see me?
Yeah. I can see you, Carisha, and myself.
In that picture, you see yourself?
What picture?
Oh, hold on.
Yours looks like just a picture of you.
Hold on.
This.
Can you
You
still
see
see me?
me? See, I don't see
Let me see.
Nadia. See, I don't see her here. I don't see her there. I don't see her anywhere.
Where's Nadia?
So no, I don't see her. But alhamdulillah, let's keep the party going. For our first stream, we wanted to talk about conversion stories. And when we're talking about conversion stories, it's basically how did your family take, or what did you do, or what did you learn in regards to telling your family that you had become a Muslim. Now, Nadia, that one's not for you because Nadia, alhamdulillah, is the first generation revert. Well, her parents were reverts, so she's first generation born Muslims. But let me remind everyone that we are all born Muslims, okay?
Alhamdulillah.
Because to be a Muslim, that means that you submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or if you don't want to say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you submit to the creator of the heavens and earth and all things in between. Okay? As a child, you have no choice but to submit because you can't walk nowhere, you can't tell nobody, you just doing what people tell you to do. At that time, you are a Muslim. It is because of your environment, your culture, your family, your friends, that takes you and into different directions. It could take you to a different path. And so when we call those that have come back, basically, or come back from wherever, we revert. So you go back to what you were before, which was someone who submits to the creator. So that's a big backstory for everyone. So Carisha, let's start with you. I understand, yes, you were living, you took Shahada in Florida, your family's in North Carolina. We talked about it before. And I think for you, you were saying that as long as they came to Florida and they came to your territory where you lived, they were fine with it. However, when you went to where your family lived, that was where the problem was. So how did you overcome that? For you were saying that
it was pretty easy for me to kind of overcome it.
Somebody's got a backdraft.
Oh yeah.
That was me. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
That's okay. For me, it was kind of easy at that point because I had lived in Florida maybe it was 14 years before I actually went back to the North Carolina area. I would go and visit on and off, and like a lot of sisters, I did not wear hijab. I modest, but I didn't wear hijab at the time.
Alhamdulillah.
I went back and forth because I also come from working in a gym. So I had that cross. So I would come home in the beginning, no hijab, a little Muslim pro to start. That was the main thing, like the Adhan going off. No, it really didn't affect anyone. When they would come visit me by then, I wore hijab, but again, vacation spot, and it's my territory.
Right.
So that's the moment where you're like, oh, okay. They're okay with it. Then when I come up here, it's like, oh, I remember one time, it was like a family reunion a couple years back, and we were getting ready to take a family picture. And my brother goes, really, we have to wait for you to put that thing on? And I was like, yes, you do.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I do. Like no one expected me to just be like, oh, yes, you do.
Yeah.
They were you do.
You're supposed to be like, no.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Exactly. So you can wait for me, or I can choose not to be in the picture. And that was that thing where I was like, oh, different
Okay.
things. And I think they come from a small town.
Mm-hmm.
So that not being exposed beyond that. But as a child, I was blessed because so did a lot of my aunts. I had an aunt that was Jehovah Witness. Me, simple. So at this point in my life and raising my children, mine approach. But I'm extremely distant. But with as an adult, I always have been distant.
Mm-hmm.
So being in the area, but being distant doesn't affect me. I
Right.
use the silent, distant approach with I'm at peace and I'm happy. And I'm not in a position in my life where I want to make you happy with my Islam because I'm
Okay.
happy with my Islam. And I'm happy that you're happy where you are. Although, yes, I wish you would accept Islam. But if you're happy where you are, then I'm happy where you are.
Right. Okay. For me, I think my
Yeah.
my family is super super close, and I think we are the type of family that if it's going to cause any kind of fitna, we just don't talk about it.
Okay.
So uh, it's one of those where it's not going to be talked about, so it should be safe. But I don't think that's always the safe approach, but it works for us. So alhamdulillah, you know.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah. So I wanted to share
And that's beautiful.
a hadith about that.
Okay.
And this is Sahih al-Bukhari number 5987. I
Okay.
I went and installed these glass boards just for you guys. Y'all are y'all are my y'all are gonna break me. So it is Sahih. And if you guys have ever been in all things Niqab, you know this is how we work. We're not gonna do anything without bringing the evidence. So this one is 5987, and it's in book 78, hadith hadith 18.
Okay.
And if you're gonna look for it in on the web, it's volume 8, book 73, hadith 16. If you're looking on the web, that first one, this one is if you actually have the book, and this one is for on the web. So,
Okay.
all right, so let me read it to you. This says narrated by Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the creations, and when he finished from his creations, Ar-Rahm womb said, O Allah, at this place I seek refuge with you from all those who sever me. Sever, and when they said sever me, he's talking about the sever the ties of kith and kin. So wait a minute. So what they're talking about is your family. We see you now, Nadia. Your
Yeah.
family and your friends have severed the ties with you. This is not you
Mm-hmm.
going and saying anything to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, yes, won't you be pleased that I will keep good relations with the one who will keep good relations with you, and I will sever the relation with the one who will sever the relations with you. It said, yes, O Lord, O my Lord. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, then that is for you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam added, Read in the Quran, if you wish, the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Would you then, if you were given the authority, do mischief in the land and sever your ties of kinship? And that's in the Quran. Surah 47, ayat 22.
Mashallah.
But you can find this basically all over the Quran, all over any of the hadiths. The one of the important things is to as best as possible to keep your ties with your relationships. Either through I guess usually you're just being kind.
Exactly.
Exactly. Usually you're just being kind, but let's not confuse anybody, because sometimes there are gray areas. And I think Abid brought that up the other day. It's like, you have found the light. You have found Islam. You are so excited about it. That's you, right?
Exactly.
But then once you get your family, now it's time to talk to the family. And that's when the gray areas start coming, because you don't want to be rude, and you don't want to be that one that's always like, that's haram. That's haram. You should you should be do that. You don't want to be that one. And you also don't want to be the one that you have to answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because you saw it and didn't say something.
Yes. And that's where my distance comes from with a lot of, it's not because I've had a lot of times where people say, well, you're breaking ties. And I'm like, no, that's not breaking ties, because I'm ultimately still being kind. I still make dawah for them, but to myself, because I don't want to go around and just be like, oh, so that's what we're doing? I'm not doing that. I don't want to constantly be like, no, I don't do that. I'm Muslim. Because then I feel at that point I'm throwing being Muslim at your face.
Right.
And I don't want to do that. And I don't raise my kids to do that. So it's one of those things where when you listen to that, you have to realize where that line is and how that's being broken. Are you breaking it, or are they breaking it?
Right. If they're breaking it, did anybody find the hadith about one of the companions? I'm very bad with names. Everybody knows it. Please don't shoot me. Don't send me messages. I'm bad with names. The companion who, I think he was rich, and he reverted to Islam, and then his mother kicked him out. And I think he died. When he died, he didn't even have enough to shroud him.
Okay, wait. I've heard that one, but let me see here.
I just can't remember. I can remember the story, like always. Like his mother, like she offered him millions of dollars. She offered him all kinds of things. She had him beat up. She had all kinds of shunned him where he didn't have any clothes. He was walking around tattered. I remember it, but I don't remember his name. But even through all of that, the lesson from that was that he still kept the love that he had for his mother. He still made sure that she was taken care of. He still came and visited her, even though he knew that she was going to be mean to him. So
yes, and there's several. Nadia is looking. I can tell she's like looking.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I can see it. She's like, look, I'm in there. So
she's like, I know what she's talking about. We're gonna share this.
We're gonna find this. She pulled that up. But I found there are several different times where people ask the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam questions about how to deal with things, just like what you just said.
Right.
And there were times where Asman bin Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, may Allah be pleased with her, said, my mother came to me while she was still a polytheist. So I asked the messenger of Allah, My mother has come to visit me, and she is hoping for my favor. Shall I maintain good relationship with her? The Prophet ﷺ replied, yes, maintain good relations with your mother. That was from al-Bukhari and Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
There are several different occasions where people used to go to him and ask him questions after they accepted Islam. They asked questions about exchanging gifts
Yes.
and from receiving gifts and even protecting a non-Muslim. A
Yes.
number of the Prophet companions narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, beware of anyone wrongs a muhad, a non-Muslim, enjoying in the protection of Muslims, or diminishing his right or force him to work beyond his capacity, or takes from him anything without his consent. I shall be his adversary on the day of judgment. And that was from Abu Dawood.
Mm.
Several,
Yeah, I've heard that.
several,
Yeah, there's
yes,
hundreds and
several.
hundreds and hundreds um about keeping the ties with your family. As a
Mhm.
matter of fact, that was one of the positive things my mom said, that since I became Muslim, that she really enjoyed our relationship.
Mashallah.
Uh, it was just different. It was just a totally, you know, different attitude. But I also learned that in any situation, sometimes you have to change yourself
Mhm.
in order to get the reaction from others that you want. So
Yes.
if you're saying that somebody is being mean, usually if you change it up, I'm not talking about strangers, I'm talking about family or people that are intimate with you. If you change and start just regardless being nice to them, it
Mhm.
changes them without them even realizing it. And
It
inshallah,
does.
that's happening in our marriages too. You know, you see your husband coming in and rah rah rah,
Mhm.
and if sometimes it just means, hey, have the house smelling like biryani or some fried chicken. And you know what I'm
And a
saying?
cake in the oven.
Have the kids
And-
over at the neighbor's house or at grandma's
yeah,
house and let him relax, and then once you do
exactly.
that enough times, he won't be coming for that rah rah no more.
Exactly.
So
Inshallah.
I found the companion.
Oh,
Mashallah.
alhamdulillah.
Yes, that's it.
Okay,
How
what was
do
his
you read it?
name? What was his
Um,
name?
Mus'ab ibn Umair.
Okay, type
That's
that. So
like
crazy.
MUS apostrophe AB Ibn IBN
Mhm.
UMAIR.
Okay.
Aha, Musab ibn
Okay.
Umayr.
Yes. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yes.
yes,
Now I'm
yes.
looking at it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Alhamdulillah.
You better
You
go find it. You better
did
go
that.
find it.
I know. I saw her digging when she was digging. I was like, my sister got it. She got it. She digging. She go get it.
Yeah, he was
Alhamdulillah.
from a wealthy family, and he was very scared to tell his mother that he converted to Islam.
Mm-hmm.
But he was allowed when he was younger to attend the meeting,
Right.
like with the
Right.
Quraysh. But when he converted, it was a secret from his mother. You see, moms are strong.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we went on to talk about his early time, and he was the first ambassador of Islam,
Yes.
Hmm.
which is like beautiful. And then they mentioned the burial, which
Wasn't he the one that was in that battle?
Yes.
Uhud, he died.
Yes.
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 He died in the Battle
Yes.
of Uhud.
Okay. Okay. I knew I saw the name. I just like, okay, where?
Alhamdulillah. And
This is
another
just sad reading his burial. Like it's just how he didn't have anything, and it said that he was buried except for Nimeria, which is a sheet that he used to like a kufaya.
yes.
Oh.
That was it. And that's so like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
they would put it up to cover his face and it would expose his private
Yeah,
parts. So they would put it
yeah.
down to
Yeah.
cover his private parts and it would expose his face. But I forgot what was the resolution. What did they end up
And
how
they use fruits and basically they use nature to cover up the body, his body when he
yeah,
passed.
yeah, that's right. That's right. See, I told you I remember
Yes.
them. I just never know their names and stuff like that, but I can tell you the
You
story.
had it. Now you know.
Yeah, she said it. I'm looking up like
Yes,
rich.
I looked at her. I was like, "Oh, Nadia got it.
Dead.
She finding it."
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
Rich,
see because she was like,
companion,
"It's there."
died
And
poor.
I'm reading it while you're talking, so I'm listening to you guys, and I'm reading it, and I'm just like, if you could see my face, I'm like, he died like that.
Yes,
It's so
Yeah, yeah.
sad.
yes. But
Alhamdulillah.
you know
Well,
when you think
inshallah,
about
people will learn. If you guys will please go look up Musab ibn Umari and his entire life, I think, especially once he reverted to Islam, is just filled with lessons for us, like how
Yeah.
he treated his mother, how he did business, how loyal he was, how much of a politician he was. There's so many lessons in his story that I truly would suggest that you go out and take a look at him. So that is the talking about the conversion story. I see now that we're going to have to do this again for the other 2 points for this story. We're going to have to maybe on Tuesday continue.
Yes, we're going totally. We really have to because when you just look at him and think about him as we were talking, about him, I started to think as a revert, how many reverts think about who will be there to watch them?
I do.
I do too.
I do. And there's and it actually, you know how your mom used to say, make sure you have on clean underwear just in case it's an accident. That is something that I'm like, oh, I can't do that unless I pray first, because I don't want to die missing a prayer or missing a fast or something like that. Islam, it could take up your whole thought process if you're really really into it.
Yeah.
And
Nadia, you had more?
Huh?
You had more?
About him? No, that's what like the gist of it, of how he became Muslim and kept it a secret, and then he was rich, and they took it all away from him, and he died.
Only because he said La ilaha illallah.
Oh, that's so
That's
sad.
it.
And you know what? It is crazy is that a lot of reverts has to deal with that too.
Yes.
Like you
that's
got,
true.
your parents. Well, alhamdulillah, like some reverts I've learned were friends. Their parents and their family totally cut them off. Like
yes,
they and it's like, wow, how could they do that? And it never got to me, like, how could they do that to someone? This totally cut them off and everything. And alhamdulillah, they're still Muslim. It's just one of those, like, eventually a family would get over it. For me,
we've had several sisters that was like that we had to find shelter for. Yep.
And it happens. It happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It happens all the time, and that's why, like we say, you have to be strong to accept Islam.
Yes,
you can't be weak.
It is not for the weak. No, that's for sure. Man or
that
woman.
Decision, exactly.
Man or woman.
Decision. Because that's a hard thing that I've dealt with. I've had people even look at me and say, "Well, can you give me the just Carisha answer, not the Muslim answer?" And I'm like, there is no answer for dealing with you that's not involving Islam.
Yeah,
there is no answer. There is no option
about that doesn't involve him.
Exactly. I am Muslim. I am Muslim first.
Yes.
So, and that's the thing. And Nadia, like for you growing up, did you ever have times like your parents had issues with people?
Oh man, yeah, my siblings. It's no shade to them. I love my siblings, but when my mom and my father reverted. I was talking with my dad. My dad reverted when he was like 18, and he
Mashallah.
came home and he told his mom, and he was the eldest out of seven, and he told his mom that he reverted to Islam. And for like weeks on end, they'll try to feed him pork and alcohol and all these things, and he'll tell them no, no, no. That to the point where he spent most of his time in the mosque.
Mm-hmm.
My mom, when she converted. I want to say in the 20s, 30s. She converted when she was much older, and I will not forget this. My sisters tell me, they try to talk to my mom about, going back to Jesus because they're Christian and so forth or whatever. And they used to tell my sister and I, oh, the reason why Umi became Muslim is so she can get married. Yeah. And it used to be hard on me. And this is like after she passed away. And my younger sister, she said to me, she said, point blank simple, Umi died as a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Point blank,
Um,
period.
yeah. And I harbor that. I keep that like, yeah, she did. She did die as a Muslim. She didn't die as anything else. And if it was for a man, whatever, then she wouldn't, if that was the base of it, and with all the trials and testing from Allah, then she wouldn't have died as a Muslim.
Exactly. And he brought her
And
to something good.
That's
yeah,
right.
That man brought
exactly.
your mother to something good, and he helped her find Jannah.
And
That's right.
and I used to say like she went and studied overseas to an Islamic country to learn the language. She was an
Oh,
Islamic teacher. I said, how can you say anything compared to that? When she was a teacher, she
wow,
won awards being a Muslim Islamic studies teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So
wow,
it was like
mashallah.
whatever. And but then my siblings got used to us being Muslim and got used to us coming around. It was like my in-laws was a whole other story because they always think that, well, if you can't talk to her, I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna tell her how to be, what's a Christianity and so on and so forth. And they used to come to my sister and I all the time because we were the youngest. My siblings are older and they're all Christian. And the crazy thing is, my siblings themselves respected our faith. It's like sort of kafirun, to yours be yours, to mine be mine.
Yes.
It's in laws that was a whole different story. They used to come to us all the time, and I told them, and this is what made them stop. And I think this is good for anyone that's a revert, and you have parents or families like talking to you about
Mm-hmm.
you should be Muslim, and convert to Christianity or whatever. Tell them this one thing, and it just stopped my brother-in-law. I said, you show me in the Bible where God said he had a son. You show me where, if you understand the history of Christianity in America, it was produced by slavery, where it is okay
Mm-hmm.
to be a part of, to take on the religion of your slave master and say that's yours. When they basically took all of it away from you, when 60% of the Muslims that came over here as slaves, they were Muslim. Like 60% of the slaves
Yes.
were Muslim. So you tell me how to differentiate and understand that. And they never can answer me. They can never give me a solid answer. One of them was like, "Oh well, faith comes in different ways," and I said, "No, no, 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 no.
Mm-mm.
Slave master beating slaves into believing in something that they don't believe in. Where's
Mm-hmm.
the humanity in that?"
Exactly.
And if someone becomes if a slave becomes a Muslim, they're no longer a slave.
Right.
Right.
Look at the story of
And
Bilal.
then from that point on, they left me alone.
Well,
They
I
Exactly.
just say it like
left.
this: why are you worshiping something that eats, sleeps, and defecates just like you? I
Thank
mean,
you.
I mean that, and also no one can do anything without the permission of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So
Yeah.
why are you thanking somebody that actually walked the earth on feet,
Who never
Yes.
said that they were the
No.
son of
who
or God.
never told you to worship them, who
No.
never who ate, who defecated, who had desires and emotions and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that? You're not to I mean, I wouldn't want to worship an entity that could
No.
die.
And
Mm-hmm.
think about it. You're worshiping someone who, when you look at it, like I've even said, like, okay, So you're worshiping him. Yes, he's an amazing man, a
Mhm.
beautiful man. But
Yes,
you realize that unless
mashallah.
Allah gives him breath, he won't come back.
That's right.
And
Right.
they look at me like, what? And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're realizing that you're asking for the middleman who Allah still has to bring back
Mm-hmm.
to do
Now this
what
is
you
not
want him to do. If you
right.
really believe that Allah gave him breath, Allah took his breath, and Allah would have to give him breath back to do what you asked for.
That's right.
So it's
Exactly.
still all Allah.
Yeah.
Even Jesus ﷺ said that, when he poured breath into the clay bird, he said, "This is not from me. This is from the Creator."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, okay. And how can you? But anyways, but it's not to throw shade on them. It's just, that's what I had to deal with, and that from that point on, we just don't discuss anything religious at all.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
that makes
and it
sense.
kept
Well,
the peace for years.
Well, that's a beautiful piece. That's a
yeah.
beautiful piece to be
We
Yeah.
able
all say
to.
we believe in God, and that's it. We don't want to
That's
get
a
in there.
beautiful
Who's God?
piece.
Well, we have 10 minutes left, so I just want to again, Carisha, can you tell them what to do once again
Of
before we
course.
get to our list to help them out?
All right. Like, share with everyone, subscribe, click the bell. I'm going to get
Bing,
me a
bing,
bell and
bing,
be like,
bing.
click the bell. And we're accepting donations at allthingsniqab.com.
That's correct. Okay, so before we leave, I have a list here, and this is a list of honest tips for reverts when dealing with a non-Muslim family. I thought this was the most honest one that I could find. Tip number 1: your family probably isn't interested in Islam. They are interested in you. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll say, even for my parents, my father, well, my father studied all religions, but it had been a long time. So, um, the first thing he said was, well, you're not going to be able to find a husband looking like that.
Oh, really?
And I
Really?
was like, "Oh, that's the priority here." Okay, thank you very much. So they are usually it's because they've heard so much in the media, or they know what other people have said about Muslims, and now here is my loved one coming here wanting to be that, and now they're just afraid. They're afraid that
Exactly.
somebody's going to hurt you, somebody's going to do something to you. Number 2, get used to the gray areas. I think we talked about this one before. One of the gray areas is like going to a family event and then they want to pray over the food. So
Yeah.
all three of us, all three of us had different things that we went through. Like for me, I just go get my food first before you guys even, before they bring it to the table. I go in the kitchen, I say Bismillah, I fix my own plate where I've already looked and seen that nothing's got pork in it. And then when they want to pray over their food, I go outside somewhere. That's all. That's what I do. But everybody has their own thing.
What I do is when they stay, they want to pray over it. I'm saying Al-Fatiha all to myself, like this.
That's a nice one too.
That's a good one because then you get extra blessings.
Yeah.
See, I always eat last. I'll wait, and then right when they're doing it, I'll say, "Oh, okay, I'll do mine." And then I'm like, "Oh, well," I use my daughter. "Oh, well, she's trying to look and see." And we always do the rule is desserts, fruit. Watch the vegetables. They might be green, but it might be something. That's always the rule.
In there.
Exactly. That's always the rule. Don't
had somebody give me a piece of cake. And he was like, "This is all, Aisha. All this is it was like a butter, those plain butter cakes."
Oh yeah,
I forgot what they call. I took a bite into that cake. He didn't tell me he put a whole bottle of Hennessy in there.
Oh, ooh, that was a juicy cake.
So he's standing there waiting to see how I like this cake. And I'm like, oh, this is delicious. But then I slowly put the napkin to my face and like took it out of my mouth and like, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. I was just like, you know, like, and I think I said, I didn't know you had like alcohol. And everybody's excuses, it burns off. As soon as you put it in the oven to heat, it burns off. And I'm just like, I have to explain, but it's not, it's your intention. Your intention is to put alcohol in the cake. And I don't drink alcohol. I don't do anything. I don't even have, I have non-alcohol Listerine. So that's how serious I am about it, you know, kind of thing.
Exactly.
All right, number 3. Okay, go ahead, Nadia. I'm sorry.
No. It's just something that popped in my head. I found non-alcoholic beverages, and I'm going to share it with you guys because I tried one because I was like, I wanted to make something for my Madeline cookies. It was like rum flavored or whatever. So I was like, I need to find something that's non-alcoholic. Ooh, I never had rum before, so I have no idea what it tastes like. But when I got this thing, it was the best drink ever. It tasted like, I don't know if you know about sorrel, but it's a West Indian drink. But it's awesome.
Yes, I love that drink.
So you're gonna have to post it in the comments. Post it in the comments because they're gonna be asking about it, inshallah.
I will so do
that. Okay, number 3.
3.
Prioritizing your family is equal to prioritizing Islam. Okay, we just finished talking about that. Quran teaches us not to cut ties with kin. This is immensely important. Okay, so also being a Muslim means you have to be creative sometimes. Sometimes you know, you got to work it around. Sisters know that for sure. How many times have you hijabified or niqabified an outfit? I do it all the time.
Oh, I used to be the queen of the turban.
Like, look at me.
Yes.
Right
now. Be the queen of the turban.
Yeah.
And I would wear the flesh tone niqab. So and then turban it. And when I did that, it would throw people off because they wouldn't know that it was still covered. So I used to do the mocha color niqab, and then I would turban my scarf.
Nice.
And then just keep an extra one. And then I'd be like, oh, I got this when I went on a vacation. Yes, I think I'm still on the beach. It's my beach wrap. Yes.
That's how we do. We invent stuff.
That's right. We invent stuff. All right.
Exactly.
Number 4. Respect for religion goes both ways.
Yes.
It goes both ways. You have your religion and I have mine. And that means that we're going to respect it. Okay. So even though we think that it might be the wrong way for you, you know your own way. As long as it makes you a nice person. All right. What was that number?
4.
3. 4.
No, that was 4. It was 4.
Do not become angry when your relatives are confused or don't understand your deen, your way of life. And I think Carisha mentioned it before, and I think I mentioned it before too. The pork is the first thing. You know, they want to cook pork for 2 weeks straight for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Exactly.
With you around. And then by the end of the 2 weeks, you know, they see that you're not going to give up, then they'll give up, inshallah.
That's what I had to go through.
Yeah. My daughter learned that. She's like, I'll go and reach for meat, and if people are looking at me, I already know.
Yeah.
She's like, if they're staring at me when I go to pick up that piece of meat, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, she mastered that. I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to look, and then I know.
All right, number 6. slow and steady wins the race. Your family's going to have questions, and you best believe, especially at the beginning, you're not going to have the answers. Let me tell you, I went to work. Okay, so it took me 2 weeks. I took my shahada, and then for the next 2 weekends, I wore my hijab only on the weekends. But then that Monday after that second weekend, I had already made it in my mind I was going to go to work in my hijab. Now, I had an executive position, so that was kind of risky. But I went to HR first. I went to my manager and I told them, look, the way you see me right now, this is how I'm going to look. This is how I'm going to look, inshallah, for the rest of my life. Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, this one guy that thought he was my boss, but I had to bring some people in to tell him he wasn't my boss. He started banging on the desk and he said, you mean to tell me? I mean, red and just, red spitting all of that. You mean to tell me that Jesus Christ is not your Lord and Savior, right? So, but remember, I took my shahada alone. And for 3 months, I didn't have any other Muslims around me. So I didn't really know the answer to that question. I really didn't know the answer to that question, but I did sit there and I said, yeah, I think that's what I'm telling you. I think that's what I'm telling you, but it made me go and research because to tell you the truth, I did not know. I just got the call to say my shahada that morning, and and that's all I knew. I didn't know. Well, my son taught me how to pray, but other than that, I didn't know. Like Ramadan, I think was like 2 weeks later. I thought that I could still drink my coffee on the way to work, and then from 9 to 5, I didn't eat, and when I got back home, that's what I would eat. That's when I was eating. But that's what I knew. But when you know better, you do better, and I learned better. So alhamdulillah for that. Number 7, seek outside support. Come to All Things Niqab, inshallah. You can join us. You can join us on our page, All Things Niqab Nonprofit. You can come to our website, allthingsniqab.com. You can hit us up on our email, allthingsniqab@gmail.com. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We even on our website, we even have a way for you to WhatsApp us if you need any kind of support at all. We try the best we can with the resource that we have to help out. So, but please go find someone to talk to. Go find somebody to vent to. There's many sisters on here that I've talked to and drove to visit and all kinds of things. So get out there and find you a positive support team around you, not one that's going to talk about somebody else with their hijab a certain way, not talking about polygyny all the time.
Yes. Or not trying to get you married off, single sisters.
You know,
yes.
You don't get married in 5 minutes of Islam.
If they're going around and they're gossiping about other sisters, stay away from that. What you want to do is get with some sisters that are researching, reading, trying to get classes together, trying to get Muslim kids together so that they're learning, they're growing up together on the same path. Because if your kids have more kuffar friends than the Muslim friends, of course they're going to follow the kuffar because that seems fun.
Exactly.
But what I've learned is if you surround them by the Muslim kids, they have just as much fun. It's just a different type of fun. So make sure to surround them. So that's number 7. And number 8, smile. Hold on one second. Are you going to get my candies? Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Love you more. Sorry, that's my son. He's not going to leave until I acknowledge him.
That's
Um,
nice.
Mashallah.
He's not trying to sneak out the house.
Exactly.
He's mashallah. He is truly the coolest of my eyes. When he says he's going somewhere, he goes straight there and he comes back. And that's not because I tell him to. That's just how he is. He's a good kid, alhamdulillah.
He's prepping him to be an awesome husband.
Yes.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. As long as she has an afro, because he likes women with afros. You gotta like anime. He likes anime, he likes streaming, and he likes afros. I don't know how it all comes together, but that's him, alhamdulillah.
All right.
So the last one is to smile. Smile because it's sunnah. Smile because even if you wore niqab, the smiling is not actually in your face. You can smile with your mouth and it not reach your eyes. Okay. So smiling can fix almost everything, inshallah. If anything, at least the smile will keep you from arguing with fools.
Exactly. Thank you.
So keep that smile on your face. It is now 1 hour and six minutes. So we have gone a little bit past our time, but we have so much fun talking to each other that this is just how it is. So inshallah, we will see you on Monday for Maghrib Mondays. And don't forget Tuesday. What is Tuesday? Taste It Tuesday. No. Chat and Chew Tuesday. That's when we have our interviews and special guests, or just a quick topic or chat that we're gonna have with each other. So if you have any topics that you want us to discuss, please click, comment, share, hit the bell, bing, 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 and send us an email, and inshallah we'll get to them. I want to get to Kimberly's real quick before we go. Kimberly Ali said, my family is not in my life. It's my in-laws that still up until this day that love me, just because my friends are the ones that accept me. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take away those that are not good for you, and he brings in. And sometimes they're not blood. Sometimes it's just those people that are going to protect and provide for you. So don't get sad for the ones that leave your life. Don't get sad for that, because if they get better, inshallah, he'll bring them back in.
It's room for the new ones. It's room. And I can tell you, Kimberly, I fully understand. My closest kin are actually two beautiful women who actually are not Muslim. And to my children, they are aunts. They ask my daughter all the time when she goes to Islamic school, well, what did you learn? Well, I learned something similar to that. If my daughter or my son ever wanted to become Christian, although it would break my heart, those would be the two most beautiful as women who could take them and make sure they at least got the best version of it.
Oh,
they could. So Allah will fill you with a better replacement.
Always everything. So that's Tuesday. We have Workout Wednesday with Carisha. She's going to show you this week's exercise routine, something that you can do at home, something that you can do in the private, but keep that body nice and tight.
So all you can
Thursday, we have Taste It Thursday with Nadia, and she will be doing some great halal dishes. Preferably, you could get these ready on Thursday to have them ready on Juma, so you don't have to cook anything on Friday, because that's what I like.
Oh, yes. So we'll work it out so we can taste it.
I also want to shout out to what is this name of this masjid? The Florida Islamic Center in Claremont, Florida. They are building a new masjid. If you go to their website, inshallah, you will see how you can help them to continue building. Mashallah, they've done so much on their own and with the local ummah to the point where the foundation has been completed, and now we just need to build. And I think it's another couple of 100,000 that they need. So inshallah, you would contribute. Go find out about them, contribute, see how you can help. Inshallah. Carisha, do you have a masjid or a sister that you would like to shout out?
Yes, I always like to shout out my local masjids, but one that has recently been and is always near and dear to me is the Halakha for You group in Greensboro, North Carolina. It is a very good group for new shahadas, whether it's 10 years new or 2 days new. It is a very, very beautiful group of sisters. They meet on Zoom. They do a lot of amazing activities. And they
Okay.
have an amazing sister, Khadijah, to get connected with. And they even have a program for the brothers.
Okay, alhamdulillah. What about you, Nadia? You have a masjid you want to shout out to, or a sister that's doing some great things?
I live out in the bush.
She's like, no.
I live in the sticks, so I don't really have a masjid currently that I attend to because I live so far away from everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll do one for you, Nadia. One, Masjid Muhammad in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Mashallah, they've been there over 35 years. They're my, I don't even know what to call them, my birth masjid. They're the ones that taught me probably 80% that I know. So I want to give a shout out to them because I know they're doing fundraising for their new masjid too. So inshallah, you guys should check them out. Masjid Muhammad on Cemetery Road in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and the Florida Islamic Center in Claremont, Florida on Center Street. Inshallah. All right. So don't forget, check us out every day on our channel on YouTube, All Things Niqab. You'll see new content, inshallah, every day. If not, don't kill us. We'll be okay. We are doing this to try to get this to the masses. This is something we've been doing since 2014, but now alhamdulillah, we've been guided to bring it out to a bigger audience now. So any last hadith, any last positive words you have for our ummah? Nadia? Nadia, you gotta say something sometime today.
I know. I know.
You know what? I've been fighting with my camera, so I was like, I don't know if I'm on or if I'm not. And then when it goes off, I see myself doing all these crazy things to see if my camera's on, and then I see it later that I'm doing these crazy things, and the camera was still on. So I still have it. Positive thing. So I'm just like, ah. So a positive thing to say is, sisters, be real with yourself. Don't be phony. Just and this is for reverts and foreign Muslims and stuff. You know, Islam is a beautiful religion, and with its uniqueness, you can be who you want to be, and you can be who you are. So as long as it falls in the guidelines of Quran and Sunnah, and nothing can stop you from that. So don't try to fake it. Don't try to be something that you're not. Don't try to be like the most educated or so forth, and don't try to believe that just because you're Muslim, you're on this cloud 9 and you're floating. Be who you are and be real with yourself. Because if you're real with yourself and you're real with Allah, that connection is forever and it will never ever go away.
Ameen. Carisha, what's your thing for today?
I would say, especially from a revert, don't look at the moments when you become isolated as a bad thing. Remember the greatest prophets that we have as examples. they were put in tests that put them alone. They were in prison, they were in caves, they went through a lot alone, but they stayed focused, and Allah will give you something better.
I mean,
Allah will always provide you something better.
inshallah.
Inshallah.
Well, my message is to
Aisha?
vote. Vote and vote. I see all of these sisters and brothers going out there talking about, oh, as a Muslim, you don't vote. Lies. That's
Yes,
lies.
vote.
That's lies. Okay. As a matter of fact, not just register, not just vote, but volunteer. Volunteer to be a poll worker like me. I'm going to be in the Niqab just like this at the polls, giving them their stuff. And they can.
Oh, mashallah.
You're gonna give them stickers?
I'm going to be giving out stickers and everything saying Assalamu alaikum.
Giving dawah while they're voting.
Exactly.
Do it.
Exactly. Doing dawah at the polls is very important, that we start getting people that are going to represent our needs, our demands, and what we want our families and the future generations to look like. So if we're talking about that we want a more Islamic friendly community, or everybody, a community that accepts everybody, then we need to get people in office that also think the same way. So inshallah, and I want to tell you this, because there's a lot of people that want to use hadiths for one thing but not for the other. Okay, usually you hear this: when you're in the land, you are to follow the laws of that land. Okay, that doesn't mean just for traffic stops. That doesn't mean just for getting a wife, and she's now using that as an excuse that you can only have one. Okay. That is not everything. The laws of the land, the law of this land is that these politicians determine our life. And if you feel like they are oppressing either yourself or your sisters and brothers around the world, get some people out there to represent you that are not going to do that. Okay, I don't care who you vote for, but vote smart, vote always, and vote early. Okay, that's my positive note for today. So inshallah, we will see you again next Friday live, except for our free. Remember, again, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we're doing onesie, twosies. And if anybody wants to join the All Things Niqab podcast on the back hall, like we need video editors, we need interns, we need managers, we need all kinds of things. So if you want to join the team, please send us a message, inshallah, and we will be very happy to have you. Okay. Again, my name is Aisha Mai, and I've enjoyed being with you. I also have my co-host Nadia.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Jazakallah khair for attending and watching us.
Alhamdulillah. And Carisha.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukran, you're amazing.
And this is All Things Niqab podcast, where we cover almost everything. That's right. Inshallah, we'll see you next week. Love you all.